everyone, it's Jennifer from Fiberflux. In this video, I will show you how to crochet the Farmer's Market Carrot Applique. This is a cute and super fast little pattern, and you can use this, you could sew this onto a shirt or your Farmer's Market tote when you go to get your produce. And this part of the carrot is done with the orange. This is sugar and cream, the hot orange. And then I just did like a lime green. And this is just some cotton dishcloth yarn. And the carrot base is done in one round. And then I worked some little leaves on top. So for this project, you'll need a 5mm H crochet hook. You'll need some orange cotton yarn, some green cotton yarn, and it takes very little amounts of this yarn, so you won't need a full ball, just some scraps. And you'll also need a tapestry needle and a pair of scissors for doing your finished work. This leaf is worked right into the carrot. It's not seamed on, but you will need this for weaving in your ends. So we can move these aside for a moment. So let's get started. We're going to work the carrot first, and then we're going to be working the little leaves from the carrot. So we'll keep this handy to refer back to. So let's do the carrot first. You're going to take your orange yarn, and you're going to just put a slip knot in your hook, make a loop with your fingers, bring the tail behind the loop, reach in with your crochet hook, bring up a loop, and then just tighten it right onto your hook. Next, you're going to chain 6. To make a chain, wrap yarn around hook and bring it through the loop. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Next, we're going to work a slip stitch in the chain that's farthest from our hook. Insert your hook into the chain, reach back and grab the yarn, bring up a loop, then bring this loop through the loop that's already on your hook. Just like that. We now have our ring, and you can kind of open it up a little bit. We also have a tail, and we're going to weave the tail in as we go along. So just kind of, this is our working yarn, but then just kind of hold the tail along the side of this ring. So as we work all the stitches, the tail will also get woven into the carrot. So to begin, we're going to be working a bunch of stitches into the center of the ring to form our carrot. Okay, so we're going to begin by working 2 treble crochets. To make a treble crochet, wrap yarn around hook 2 times, insert your hook into the center of the ring, bring up a loop, wrap yarn around hook, bring it through the first 2 loops, wrap yarn around hook, bring it through the next 2 loops, wrap yarn around hook, bring it through the last 2 loops. Okay, we're going to work another treble crochet. Just like that. And we get a little yarn here. Our yarn ball is following us around. And again, we're going to be weaving that yarn tail in as we go along. And I'm kind of pushing my stitches over because we're going to have a bunch of stitches into the center here. Next, we're going to work a double crochet into the center of the ring. To make a double crochet, wrap yarn around hook, insert it into the ring, bring up a loop, wrap yarn around hook, bring it through the first 2 loops, wrap yarn around hook, bring it through the last 2 loops. Next, we'll work 4 single crochets. To make a single crochet, insert your hook into the ring, bring up a loop, wrap yarn around hook, bring it through both loops. Okay, so we're making a total of 4 single crochets, so let's make 3 more. 2, 3, and 4. And again, I'm just pushing everything over as I go. We're going to make another double crochet. And then 1 treble crochet, and then 1 double crochet, and then 4 single crochet, 1, 2, pushing it over, 3, and 4. And then to finish our carrot, we're going to work 1 more double crochet, and again I'm holding this tail to weave it in. So double crochet, and then we're going to finish off our carrot by, you may need to straighten some of this out a little, it's pretty tiny, but we'll just join to close it with a slip stitch. So we just inserted our hook, brought up a loop, and then bring that loop through that loop, just like that. So our carrot is complete. Here's the original carrot. So we join with a slip stitch, and now we're going to fasten off. You just take your scissors and fasten right off. Just like that. We have a large hole here, so what you want to do, this tail that we wove in, you want to take that tail and pull it really tight. You can go ahead and trim that. And then what I like to do is just kind of shape it up a little bit, just like that. Okay, so we have our carrot. So what we're going to do next is take the green yarn, and you're going to locate the top and centermost stitch of the carrot. If you look at this carrot here, this green, we're going to tie it right into this top stitch. So you can kind of look around for it, and I think it's right there. So what I like to do is just kind of, might be a little snug, but that's okay. Just take your hook and kind of run it through that area. And then you can take your green yarn, lay it over your hook, and then just pull it through, just like that. And then I just tied mine right on to that stitch. And then just put a little knot in it if you like. Some people don't like to do knots. It's totally up to you. And then you can take your yarn, and then we're not going to worry about these tails at the moment. We're going to weave those in later. So you can insert your hook back into that stitch, and then what you're going to do is chain 4. So bring this loop up through here. Again, it's a little snug, but that's okay because that'll make this not have a gap later if it's a little snug. So we're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then in the second chain from the hook, this loop here doesn't count. 1, 2, we're going to work a slip stitch. So insert your hook, bring up a loop, and then bring this loop through the loop that's already on your hook, just like that. The next chain we're going to do the same thing. Work a slip stitch in the next chain, and then the next chain work a slip stitch, and then we're going to work a slip stitch into the stitch where we tied our yarn on to finish that first leaf off, just like that. This is what our first little leaf will look like. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing. Chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. In the second chain from the hook, 1, 2, we're going to work a slip stitch, then a slip stitch in the next chain, then a slip stitch in the next chain, and then a slip stitch into the area where we tied our yarn on the same stitch. Okay, so we have our second little leaf here. Next we're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and do the same thing. In the second chain from the hook, 1, 2, and work a slip stitch. Next chain, slip stitch. next chain, slip stitch. And where we tied on the yarn again, we'll work a slip stitch to finish that leaf off. So our third, let me just get my hook out of the way so you can see it. My third leaf is complete. Next, we're going to trim and then fasten it off, just like that. Then you can just kind of straighten all these little guys up here, okay? And it'll look just like our other carrot. So we have 3 ends that we'll have. You can just kind of straighten up your carrot a little bit. Get all these little leaves, get the carrot nice and straightened out. When you have a lot of little stitches in a small area, sometimes you have to just straighten it out a little bit by hand. So we're going to have 3 tails left. So we can get our yarn out of the way. So let's flip our carrot over, and just, you can start with any of the 3 tails. When you're weaving in ends in a multicolored area, what you want to do is only weave the green into the green area and only weave the orange into the orange area. You want it to look nice and neat, and you really just want those ends to disappear. So we're just going to weave that in, snip it off. Okay, we have a green one left, so just thread our tapestry needle or yarn needle, whatever you like to call it, and then we're just weave that green right into the green area. Just pull that nice and snug. You don't want any looseness or loops left in there. Just trim it off. Then we'll take the yarn that's orange, the orange tail, thread your needle. If it splits like that, you can just give it a fresh cut. Sometimes with the cotton, the plies like to come apart. You can just trim it and give it a little twist. It'll be back to normal. So just thread your needle. And then you're going to run this into the orange area. If you have a little gap here, see how you can see the gap from working all those stitches into the top? Just run that tail right across that gap. I'll bring that up close, just like that. And when you weave it in, it'll close that up nicely. See, it closed it up very nicely. And then just come back in the other direction just to lock it in place. So you'll just run that in there. Then you can just trim that off, and your little carrot applique is complete. And it looks great. And you can just straighten these little leaves out however you wish. You can also kind of sharpen up that carrot point if you like. So our Farmer's Market carrot applique is complete. And then you can just, with matching yarn, you can even save these scraps if you want to, if they're long enough. You can sew these onto anything you wish, or you can use needle and thread if you're sewing it onto fabric. And that is our applique. So thanks so much for watching this video, and be sure and click the red subscribe button to get all the latest Fiber Flux video updates. Thanks so much!